Joining me now for more from London is Elisabeth Braw. She's a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. Elizabeth, welcome. So we're seeing these scenes at the airport. Apparently there is some control today by the Taliban, allegedly. But with so many Americans still in Afghanistan as well as allies, it just seems impossible that there would not have been a large perimeter established militarily around that airport. This is looking to be a situation where people could very well be left behind, maybe within a matter of days.
Yes, and I think the people you're talking about are the people who Western countries want to bring out. We are talking about several thousands of Afghans who have worked for Western countries, including the United States, but also many other allies who have had troops and NGOs in the country who now want to bring their local staff out. But we also have to remember that there are lots of other Afghans who haven't worked for Western organizations in any capacity, who just think, well, I don't feel safe here anymore. And I think that is the next question. What happens to those people?
Also, around the world, we heard from NATO this past week, who said the good news is, if there is any, that there has been no shortage of offers to help from other countries. However, there are some, including Austria and others within Europe, who are saying, wait a minute, we've already taken in so many migrants over the past few years that we can't handle anymore. There is now some pushback. Not everyone can handle what could be an influx of hundreds of thousands of people ultimately fleeing Afghanistan.
That is indeed the situation. And if we look at the 2015-2016 migration crisis, then I just did the numbers a couple of days ago. Sweden received 156,000 people in 1 year. And if you compare that number proportionate to Sweden's population to how many people the US would have to take to sort of take a similar burden or a share of migrants or asylum seekers, which is what this was, it would be 5 million people. The US is not going to take 5 million people, but these European countries who took a very large number of people, asylum seekers who turned up at their borders in 2015, 2016, they are indeed saying, and it's not just Austria, it's Sweden as well, Greece as well, which also received many migrants in the previous refugee crisis. They're saying, we can't do this again. So the question is, who is going to receive these people? And that is the urgent question now. It's receiving and looking after the military interpreters is one thing, but everybody else who is saying, well, I don't feel safe anymore. We're talking about millions of people who may need some sort of refuge. Where are they going to go?
Yeah, and many of them have no chance. As you mentioned, no connection to any organization or foreign government that might give them a way out. Even that's doubtful at this point. But let's also look at what the Taliban is doing today, having these meetings in the provinces with former government officials. We've heard all of these reassurances that the Taliban wants the world to hear, but that is in direct contrast to reports that have been emerging around the country of beheadings, more violence, girls taken as wives, the shutting down of schools, women removed from their jobs. No one knows whether the Taliban leadership at this point can even control their ranks, do they?
That is a challenge, and nobody wants to be the guinea pig. I mean, who of us would want to stay around in a country not knowing whether the new regime will be a brutal one or a moderate one? We wouldn't want to take any chances. So I don't think we can blame any Afghans now trying to leave. But the question is, who will receive them? And the point is also that the West has absolutely no leverage over this new Taliban regime. We don't have anything to hold over their heads. And I think this is where the Trump administration went wrong in its negotiations. It gave the Taliban concessions without asking for anything in return. So we, the West, don't have any leverage.
Yep. All right. Elisabeth, thank you for joining us.